Hello everybody, welcome. Hey look, another rainy day here in Central Florida. We are going to be doing another indoor episode today. We just finished not too long ago going to the Florida Mall, and I talked about the mall at Millenia, and I want to check out the mall at Millenia today. This is an awesome place to go. It's a great place to do like a half day or a free day if you're coming down to the parks. So let's go check it out. Man, we just cannot get a break when it comes to the rain in Florida for some reason. It's so odd. Normally the rainy season is in the summertime at Florida. So like in at certain months in the summer, but for some reason they've been later in the summer this year. And instead of them being like these like early day showers, usually like noon to 2 or 3 o'clock, they've all been happening later. I don't know what it is. So by the time we can get out to the parks or get outside, it's raining, which is super frustrating because it's making it really hard to get out to the parks. Now we can go to the parks anytime and enjoy the rides, do all the festivities, just wearing ponchos or umbrellas, but it's hard to film. Again, I've mentioned this before. Like I have waterproof cameras, but then the sound quality is so bad that I don't think anybody wants to watch those videos. So we're kind of like postponing going to the parks a little bit and doing some other things that we can do indoors. So if you've been following the continuing saga, Candy's been trying to get a bathing suit for a while. We stopped at Disney Springs and she found a bathing suit that she kind of liked at the Everything But Water store in Disney Springs, but unfortunately they didn't have the right size and it was kind of expensive. So then we went to the Florida Mall to try to find one because it said that they had an Everything But Water there. We got there, I mean, you looked on the map and everything, we got there, they didn't even have one. So it wasn't in the kiosk anywhere, we couldn't find it. And then when I finally clicked on the Everything But Water in that location, it said permanently closed. So now, so we did kind of a tour of the Florida Mall while we were there, and now I'm kind of thinking, hey, I would love to do Mall at Millenia because it's another one of those malls that we would go to when we come down on vacation. We would usually go to the Florida Mall for one day or, for a couple hours because a lot of times you're not at the park the whole day. You need breaks. You need breaks in the amount of time you're there. So you need break days. And so we would usually go to do a few other things like go to the Florida Mall just to hang out, do some shopping, get some food. And the other one was Mall at Millenia. And I love that mall. It is more bougie. This is like the fancy mall for the area. So most of the places are going to be super expensive. Some of the more higher end stores. I'd say probably half the stores at Mall at Millenia I would never shop at because I just don't have enough money. We don't spend that much money on stuff. So but there's a lot of other good stores there, and they have a lot of good restaurants there, and it's a cool experience. Like it's a fancy mall. It's really pretty. So I'm kind of excited. So they have allegedly an Everything But Water there. Once again, I didn't try calling the store because for some reason post-COVID you can't call anybody, and no one picks up the phone anymore. So we're just gonna drive over. We're gonna see if they have it. Hopefully, maybe they have the bathing suit she was looking for in her size. We'll find out. So I'm excited to go over to Mall at Millenia because we don't go there very often. It's much closer to Universal Studios. So it's a little bit further out than the Florida Mall. So if you're staying at Universal Studios, it's a good mall to go to because it's very close to Universal Studios. It's a little bit further from Disney, but not too far. And they have good restaurants there. So I thought it'd be fun to just kind of go over there, showcase the mall a little bit, show you what's over there, and maybe it's something that you might be interested in doing. If you are down here on vacation and you want something to do for a half day or a couple of hours that's indoors and doesn't cost any money. We're here at the Mall at Millenia. Sorry, that's just always what I've called it for my kids when they were growing up. Every time we went, we'd be like, where are we going? I'd be like, the Mall at Millenia. So it really sounds weird to me to say it any other way. So throughout the rest of this video, every time I say the Mall at Millenia, that's how I'm going to say it. Sorry, there's just nothing I can say about it. Now we are coming up the back side of mall at Millenia. It's actually, and it's raining, of course, so, but it's actually a really, even the back entrance is actually pretty nice. I prefer the back entrance. Just a fun fact, a little tip for you. The back entrance is my preferred place to park because you can get a much better spot than you can get in the front. There is a ton of people in the front. There's valet parking in the front. So if you're valet parking, you're good to go. But if you're not, it's just too much of a zoo up there for me. So I prefer the back entrance. I mean, it's still really cute back here. But this is where the food court is too. So if you want to come in for food, this is the best entrance to come in. And usually we're coming here for food. So this is where we come in. Let's take a look. So this is the back entrance, right into the food court. They also have California Pizza Kitchen back here, which has awesome food. Not just pizza, they also have pretty good pastas and stuff. They also have a Johnny Rockets over here on this side. Supposedly they're opening a pasta bar there, but I have yet to see any life of it coming to fruition. And of course they have Chipotle. I love Chipotle. Sbarro, Chinatown. They have this place called Bricks and Bowls, which is actually pretty good over here on the left. They've got Chick-fil-A, a bunch of places. This is such a nice food court. It's just a great place to hang out. And we come here pretty often because we can. The one thing about my family is when we go out together, we can never agree on where we want to eat. So this is a great place to come because some people want Chipotle, some people want Chick-fil-A, some people want Bricks and Bowls, some people want Charlie's cheesesteaks. This is the best of both worlds. We come here, it's nice, it's air conditioning, it's cool, it's out of the rain. Everybody can choose what they get to eat. We don't have to settle for just one place, so score. So of course, just like when we come to Disney, the first place that we have to stop is going to be Starbucks. So we're going to head to Starbucks first. I'm going to stand outside and not get anything to drink, but that's where we're at. So this is the main entrance down here, straight across there. I'll go down there in a little bit. And this is sort of like the main, what do you call this? I don't know, central area of the mall. Kind of the connector. Atrium? Is that it? Atrium? Yeah, atrium. That sounds good. But look how cool it is. It looks even cooler from down there. Once we go down there, we'll take a look at it. But it's a nice mall. They also got some restaurants down there as well, like Cheesecake Factory and Brio. It's kind of bougie. It's kind of bougie. As I mentioned earlier, we would always come here on one of our off days just to walk around. It's just kind of a cool mall to hang around in. Give it a little walk up and down. It's not a huge mall. It's not nearly as big as the Florida Mall. But it's much nicer than the Florida Mall. And they've got some nice restaurants here. They've got Cheesecake Factory, Brio. I mentioned California Pizza Kitchen. They got a good food court, Johnny Rockets, a couple other ones. We would usually come here for California Pizza Kitchen because there really weren't a lot. Back in the day, there weren't a lot of California Pizza Kitchens anywhere where we lived. I know it's a chain restaurant, but we really liked their pizza back in the day. So we would always come over here for that. But then for some reason they started changing things and we stopped going there. Then we started coming over to Brio or Cheesecake Factory. It just became like a tradition. We just always used to come over here. And right across the street from Mall Millenia is a Krispy Kreme Donuts. And when that hot and fresh sign is on, we always stop and get donuts. I wonder if it's on now. I might have to stop and get some. It just became a tradition just to come over here once a trip, as long as we were staying for 2 weeks. If we stayed for 1 week, we wouldn't always necessarily come here. We would skip some of the malls and stuff, but we were here on a 2-week vacation. You got a lot of downtime. We'd always just make this one of our trips. Now, this is one of those places that I'll be honest, that I always feel underdressed when we're here. Have you ever gone anywhere where you felt uncomfortable because you felt like you should have dressed up more? That's this mall. So it's a totally different vibe from Florida Mall. Every time I'm here, it really doesn't matter what I'm wearing. I feel like I'm underdressed. And you know how it is at Florida. It's hot out in Florida. It's humid. So a lot of times I'm just wearing a t-shirt and shorts. Maybe some sandals or gym shoes or something. And I always feel underdressed. And I feel like it's if I walk into half of these stores, like no one's going to help me. Like they're all going to look at me and be like, well, this guy can't afford anything in this store. So, and they're going to, you know, they're not going to help me at all. That's how I feel. I'm not saying that's what happens, but that's how I feel like that's what's going to happen. So sometimes I feel a little self-conscious walking into some of these places if I'm not dressed up. So if you're really looking for like the more laid-back, relaxed vibe, the Florida Mall is definitely the place for you. You know, if you feel uncomfortable not being dressed up, this might not be the best mall for that. It's actually pretty crowded here in the center area, but now that we're walking down this direction, it's not too bad. Not too bad. Look at this cool bridge right here. You can actually see through it. It's kind of cool. It's a little sketchy when you think about it, but it's still pretty cool. Got a little Rolex store right here, Louis Vuitton. We got Gucci, Prada, Tiffany & Co. Yeah, I mean, there's some nice stores here. A lot of the stores here, they have like little people standing out front, and then you have to like, or they have like it like blocked off with like a rope. You have to be like invited into the store. You can't just like waltz on in. They have a few anchor stores like Neiman Marcus and Bloomingdale's and Macy's. Yeah, the ones that have like the little ropes across them, like what you see right there, I don't usually go into those stores because, you know, I don't know. I'm not bougie like that. Let me look at this store here. Check this out, Versace. Nice little rope there. All the bags are in little display cases. I don't know, there's somebody in there literally taking pictures of their product on the inside of their own stuff. You got Jimmy Choo's store. You know you're going to be paying some money in that place. Look, there's a dog. There's a little dog. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, hey, that one has that one's like a red carpet. That was Christian Louis Vuitton. I don't know. What do you think? Is this where most of you shop? These kind of stores? I'm curious. Are these the kind of stores that you usually shop at? For anybody watching? Is this kind of mall you would actually, you know, go shopping at? Or are you more Florida Mall people? I'm more of kind of like the low-key mall. You know, the standard stores that I'm used to seeing. That's where I usually get my clothes. But every once in a while I like to go to like eclectic, small, cool little shops that are unknowns or places that you've never really seen too much of that aren't that expensive. Like I like going to like the little one-off shops and places that are kind of cool and you get some cool fit, cool gear. Versus some of the bigger chains. I like the bigger chains as well, but I like trying to find like cool little side spots I can go to that I don't really know much, as long as they're reasonably priced. Like I'm not trying to go in there and pay like $500 for a t-shirt. That's just not for me. I mean, if I had that much money to spend on a t-shirt, I'm not saying I wouldn't spend it, because if it was a cool shirt, but yeah, you know, a little bit out of my price range, if I'm being perfectly honest. Okay, now what is this? Like, what the heck is this box? I feel like whatever it is, it's not here anymore, or they're building it, but like, what is Mr. Bathing Ape? Is this a brand? Does anybody know what this is? I've never seen that before, but it sounds kind of interesting, I guess. Mr. Bathing Ape. I don't know. I'm curious. Does anybody know what this is? I'm curious. How does this look on me? Does this work? Does this look good? What do you think? What do you think? Is it working? Is it good? I don't know. I think the sweatshirt that I had underneath of that was kind of throwing that look off. So I probably should have tried it on without the shirt, because I think it would have looked really nice. I just saw that they have a Psycho Bunny in here. That must be new. Haven't seen that before. It's kind of cool. Didn't know they had that here. And there's the chocolate store that they also have at the Florida Mall. Every time I go in there, I want to try it. Now, they used to have a Steve Candi here, but I haven't seen it anywhere. I wonder if it's gone now. Man, that's disappointing. Every time we would come here, I would go to Steve Candi, and I would get something. Man, that stinks if it's gone. I'm going to have to look and see if I can find it. Maybe they moved. All right, I made it to the front entrance now. So this is where you would normally come in if you were coming in the front entrance. Over there, you've got Brio. This is Cheesecake Factory on the right. But it's just you can see it's a lot busier here. So like I was saying, like this is the main entrance, but it's also a lot of people in here. So it's not necessarily the best place to park. A lot of people waiting for these restaurants as well. But it still looks cool. It's like a cool entrance. I think it's neat in here. And then this leads into the main atrium over here, which I kind of wanted to show from the ground floor too, because it kind of looks cool, I feel like, from down here. You can kind of get a glimpse of it. They have all these like TV screens up here on the top. Usually have some sort of like hip music playing. Just kind of goes all the way around. Yeah, I just kind of always liked it. Every time we walk in here, I always thought it was like a cool vibe. It's just a neat mall. Hey, we finally made it. We finally made it to the store that we came here to actually come to. We've been here so long, we actually forgot that this is what we were here for. Wow. I'm not even joking when I tell you, we walked up to the store and the lady closed the door and said, look at the sign, and she looked at the sign and it said, we close at 8 o'clock, and it was 8:05. All the other stores are still open. For some reason, that store had like a little paper sign on the door that said they closed at 8 o'clock. So we didn't even get to go in. Oh, man. And then she turned the light off right in front of us. So yeah, oops, once again, we failed to go to everything but water. Apparently, it's not in the cards. Now, I will say, we looked through the glass and tried to even see if we could see the bathing suit. We didn't even see that bathing suit even in the store. It was a lot smaller store than the one at Disney Springs. So anyhow, it looks like this bathing suit situation is a complete bust. We're going to have to figure out a different bathing suit. I'm not kidding. I literally just smelled the best candle and scent I've ever smelled in my entire life. And it is this 5-star Texas pecan pie candle here at Bath & Body Works. I am definitely getting one. Oh my gosh, now I want pecan pie. And that is the mall at Millenia. Such a fun day. I was so good to get out here again, and I got my awesome Texas pecan pie. Free wick candle from Bath & Body Works. I'm a sucker for scents, I'm a sucker for candles, lotions, everything, so it was awesome. Hopefully you enjoyed this quick trip through the mall at Millenia. Kind of got to see the differences between the mall at Millenia and the Florida Mall. And again, it's just kind of a cool place to come as an extra day. So thanks again for joining us. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. Be sure to check out all of our other content. Hopefully there'll be normal content tomorrow with lots of Disney, Universal, SeaWorld food reviews, all sorts of things, not just trips to the mall, but hey, what can you do when it's pouring out rain? Until we see you tomorrow, the Noble Way is the easy way.